I'm currently in Americus, which is Sumter County, about an hour from Columbus. I'm at the Phoebe Sumter Medical Center. This is where President Carter's body currently is. And it's still early this morning, but later well, Cheryl, good news. The little boy is okay. And according to Auburn police, this morning at 7:15, police apprehended and arrested 41-year-old Aaron Williams. Roughly 41 million people in the United States receive Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program benefits, otherwise known as SNAP, formerly known as food stamps. In the afternoon, Secretary Hegseth was taken all over base to speak personally to soldiers. Hey, Barbara, I'm imagining that you can hear the music right now because, yeah, it's certainly pumping up. Jason, great to see you both. With me is Sports Leader 9, Drew Pavon. Drew and Ben Stanfield, they're both going to be up in the booth. They're calling tonight's game. Very exciting, Drew. Folks at home, they're kind of wondering, what's tonight going to look like? Your expectations, thoughts, feelings, all the above. Luckily, I didn't spoil anything, but we were able to pull off the surprise. And here to my left right now is Haley Snow, a 16-year-old winner of WTVM's Dream Room Makeover for 2025. Her mom as well, Larissa, joining me. Listen, Cheryl, parents can expect their kids to be exhausted. How do I know that? I just climbed up here and I'm a little bit gassed myself. But Cheryl, more than that, parents can expect their kids to have fun in a very safe environment.
That's the kind of warrior ethos we are restoring in the military. Uncompromising, unrelenting, with the mission first, always.
Thursday, the United States Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth made a stop at Fort Benning, a place that he's all too familiar with after having completed his basic training right here in the early 2000s. Secretary Hegseth spoke to the graduates of the Army's Officer Candidate School, all now second lieutenants.
That good decisions are made not by politicians and bureaucrats in a faraway capital, but by warfighters. And it was Fort Benning that played a key role in forging me.
Following the graduation ceremony, he was driven all over base to speak personally to soldiers and witness various exercises, including private drone explosion demonstrations and the firing of new weapons. The graduates and soldiers on Fort Benning grateful for his support.
We've been in this course for 3 months. It was a long journey, but we all graduated together, and it's a huge deal to have the Secretary of Defense here, especially since he's the one who's going to be administering the oath of office for us. Just to have the Secretary of Defense come all the way down here to do this is a huge deal for us.
Secretary Hegseth also made sure to emphasize the Benning in Fort Benning as he directed the name change back in March from what was formerly known as Fort Moore.
The name Fort Benning is important, not because we don't like Hal Moore. Hal Moore's a hell of a warrior, and we want to honor him any way we can. But the legacy of my grandfather, my father, I did, the next, maybe my sons, your daughters, whomever would go through Fort Benning. It's a connection to the past.
Dating back to 1863, the Mulberry Street Cemetery has served as the resting place for over 1,000 unmarked graves, many believed to be African Americans, while others Confederate soldiers. But despite such divide, this cemetery has turned their stories into a way of unity. The Mulberry Street Cemetery is the final resting place for soldiers from all 11 official states of the Confederacy, enslaved orderlies who played a vital role during the Civil War, and not to mention renowned bridge builder and formerly enslaved architect Horace King. King's engineering legacy includes the construction of more than 125 bridges across the region, while also building bridges with those in the community throughout his time as an Alabama legislator. The $2.7 million restoration includes a new boardwalk, landscaping enhancements, and the preservation of existing historical markers. This milestone pushes the community to not only learn from those in the past, but to honor them.
It is very unusual to have 300 Confederate soldiers and 1,000 African Americans buried so close to each other. And so we took that opportunity to celebrate this time in our history.
We move forward together as a community, not discrediting the history that happened, but expanding it to include a narrative that supports every person's storyline and take what was meant for bad and turn it into good.
1,000 unmarked graves have now been identified as part of the completed restoration, and though the individuals cannot be identified, each will be honored with a marker. Being less than a year away from the country's 250th birthday, what better time than now to not only learn from those in the past, but to respond as Americans? Reporting in LaGrange, I'm Macy Woodworth for WTVM News Leader 9. All right, Ashton, thank you very much. Well, as our nation closes in on its 250th birthday, we're celebrating another milestone. Today marks 49 years since Georgia's own Jimmy Carter was elected president. A crisis at America's dinner tables. Millions of families suddenly cut off from food assistance. That's as SNAP funding runs dry during the government shutdown. A New York man now behind bars in Chambers County. That was after police say that he defrauded the Chambers County Commission of nearly $1 million. Now, according to officials and court documents, well, it's pretty easy to accidentally break a clothing hanger from your closet, right? Happens to me all the time. But we're testing out a hanger that is supposed to be practically unbreakable. I don't believe it. And versatile as well. Rachel Hackbarth puts the kangaroo hanger to the test. And this, does it work? Take a look. Georgia's upcoming U.S. Senate race has President Trump's attention. The president now weighing in on the race, but actually stopped short of announcing an endorsement. Take a listen. Reconstruction of the runways at the Columbus airport now one step closer to being done, and you'll soon be able to fly out of the airport right here in the Fountain City. A lot of you folks at home, I know you're happy right now. We also want to see your spooktacular costumes from last night. Of course, we were talking about it all day yesterday. You should have seen some of the costumes that we had here at the station. Some people went all out, but it was a lot of fun, and we want to see yours, the viewers, your kiddos, all of them.